Hi everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Mrs. Mummypenny Talks. And today I have two guests. I don't think I've done this so far in my series of interviews. So I've been interviewing people since the beginning of lockdown, interviewing founders of business, big or small. I'm trying to cover lots of different industries, different businesses, but we've got two people today, so that's very exciting. So we've got David Hopkins, I always go the wrong way, and Hannah Weeks, who are from Proinsight. Now I'll do a little bit of a teeny tiny spiel about Proinsight. So you are a mystery shopping company who I personally have done a lot of mystery shops for, because yay, I get to go on spa days and you pay me to do it. It's like the best mystery shopping job in the world, and that's how I literally describe it to all my listeners and viewers. And it's not just spa days. There's gym stuff. There's food. There's all sorts of stuff. But so welcome to the podcast. And what I'd like to start with is just tell me a little bit about David, you go first, then Hannah. What have you done so far, in life? How did you get to the point of, I'm going to set up a mystery shopping company?
Okay.
How long you got?
I founded the company about 6 years ago, Lynn, and it was sort of born out of the fact that I've been working in gyms sort of most of my life, so working for organisations like David Lloyd and a company called Greenwich Leisure Limited, basically running gyms. And most of the time in those gyms, I was getting mystery shopped by other agencies and by other mystery shopping companies. And a lot of the time, that information was pretty sketchy. Quite often I received it quite late, and it just wasn't a great standard. And I also felt, particularly in the gym sector, service was probably way down the list of sort of priorities. Priorities with things like just opening the building and making sure it's safe was more important a lot of the time than the service that was being given. So about 6 years ago, I thought, I can have a go at this. I could probably do a better job than some of the organisations that mystery shopping me. So decided to found Proinsight. And
so you hadn't run your own business before. You'd been employed. You just had a moment of inspiration, and you're like, no, I'm going to do this better. I'm setting up my own business.
I wouldn't say it was a moment. It was something I was planning and thinking about for some time. So it wasn't just one day thought, I'll give this a go. But I had a good reputation, some good sort of relationships in the health and fitness sector anyway. So I was able to sort of instantly sell my company back to some of the people I knew within that sector, and that's sort of how it grew really for the first 4 years. It was our goal really was to work with every health club, gym chain in the UK, and we sort of, I wouldn't say succeeded in that, but we've sort of gone a long way with that really. And in the last sort of couple of years, so more recently, we realised that we've got a great product, we've got some great shoppers, and our clients seem to continue to buy what we're giving them. And we've started to sort of work outside of the health and fitness sector. So we've been successful in growing the business in other sectors, like with car dealerships, coffee houses, spas. We're working in supermarkets now. So pretty much, we'll go on to, so I'm sure, with some of the brands that we're working with a little bit later. But we work with some really cool brands now, and got a great team here in London Bridge. This is our office. Not all our office, but we've got a small office here at London Bridge, and about sort of 12, 13 staff that are based here.
Yeah. And so when did you join the team, Hannah?
January of last year, so January 2019. I've known David for 4 years now. So Everyone Active I used to work for, which is a leisure provider, who were a client of us, kind of Proinsight. So I met David through sort of selling to us and presenting mystery shopping to Everyone Active back in 2016, I think it probably was. And then I moved on to work for another leisure provider, Anytime Fitness, who again worked with us. And then January, kind of August 2018, David and I sort of had a conversation about how I could fit into the group. And I packed up my bags from Warwickshire and moved to London. So year and a half now.
Great.
Operations manager. Yeah, I mean, I've moved around bit by bit. I'm Bristolian originally.
It's a bit of a nomad.
Yeah, I like it. So yeah, Bristolian originally, and then moved up to Warwickshire, and then back down to London. So been here a year and a half, and work with the team that work here in the office. Most people know them as allocators. So the shoppers that you will speak to will know them as allocators, who work and build relationships with the shoppers. And then a team of quality controllers as well. And then obviously all of the shoppers that we've got, I work with too.
So let's talk about the scale of the business, right? Because it's what I find really, really interesting about, so I've got my own business, you've got your own business. It's when you scale up that business, and so when you start it off, like there's just one of you running this business and you try to do everything yourself, then you get to a point where you know you need to expand and get more people in, and now you've got to the point where you've got, what you said, 15 members of staff. But in terms of, so you've got 25,000 mystery shoppers on your books, of which not all of them are active, I suppose, but
no, I think probably 1,000 of them will work every month. It is a lot smaller number than the 25,000 that join. Range of reasons. It may well be that we haven't got, someone might live in a tiny village in Wales. Others may not just want to continue to work with us. So
yeah.
We also, for a lot of our clients, if you're thinking about buying a car, for example, and the customer journey, but we're buying a car, we couldn't be sending in the same person in Aberdeen every month to the same car dealership. So we sort of typically would lock that person out for a 12-month period.
Of that client.
At least 12 months, so that the client wouldn't sort of see the same people coming through. So that also like limits the number of assignments people can do.
Yeah, and then your client database. So you say you've got more than 100 clients on your books?
Yeah, about 120 at the moment.
So it's predominantly health and fitness. So you've got pretty much, you name a health and fitness brand, you are the mystery shoppers for them. Yep. But so share some of the like amazing brands who you work with and the ones you're most like excited about.
So at the moment, actually, one that I'm working for today that's really sought after. So David Lloyd is one of our clients, which a lot of people know and love. You've done spa days, I think, at Valentine's before now. So absolutely, you name a sort of brand. It may well be someone's local leisure centre down the road. It's not just the big kind of David Lloyd have got 130 clubs. It may not be those that have got massive clubs, but it might be someone up in Scotland that's got 3. So it isn't necessarily when a mystery shopper joins us that they have to go to these big brands. It could just be that down the road. And as David said, when I first started, it was just health and fitness. I think it's now probably about a 65-35 split between health and fitness and then other.
Definitely, what we're seeing is that health and fitness, the stuff we're doing in health and fitness is probably pretty static, whereas the stuff outside of health and fitness is growing. Just this week, I had an inquiry from a mental health charity that was looking to mystery shop some of their processing systems. So it's not sort of there's some really unique stuff coming through that we're seeing.
And it ranges from, it may well be that we mystery shop a sales journey. So you go and purchase a membership, or you go and purchase a coffee at Starbucks, or you go and do these certain things. But it may well be that you have a telephone conversation about mental health, or it might be that you, with our member journeys, you embed yourself into a leisure centre for 3 months, or you look at buying a car and have a test drive. So there's lots of different types of things.
We've been working with one of our probably most interesting projects is we've been working with the British Army for the last sort of 18 months and looking at their candidate recruitment process. So I mean, we've all probably seen the fact that Capita's been running that part of the British Army, the recruitment of soldiers, and the adverts that you've seen, that have been quite thought-provoking. But now what they're really keen to see is the sort of what happens when you actually physically go into one of their army recruitment centres and actually inquire how does that work, and how do the team at the centres deal with the inquiry right from the sort of start. But we've been moving that process right away through to the assessment centre more recently. So we're sort of sending people in to go through what could be up to 6 months of a journey of becoming a soldier. So imagine one of our probably longest shops
doing the fitness test, staying overnight in the barracks.
Staying overnight in the barracks, and getting your mobile phone taken away from you. And
oh my God.
They're the kind of shops that are really unique and actually sometimes quite tricky to find the right candidate to do, because the army are quite specific about the sort of the type of people that they want to join for obvious reasons.
But a lot of the questions that I get are about how much can I earn as a mystery shopper, and because of that, it varies so much on where you live. If you live in Newcastle, in a city, you've got lots around you. If you live in Merthyr Tydfil in Wales, you haven't, and so it varies on that, and it also varies on things like that. Everyone can go and buy a cup of coffee. Everyone can go and inquire about a gym membership, but not everyone can join the army. Not everyone can go and do a mystery shop that needs the age of 25 to 35. You know, it's very specific. So it depends on how much a mystery shopper, so the audience watching that want to kind of become one, depends on how much time you can put in, how much you can travel, all of those different things as well.
Yeah, and I think we should have a discussion about sort of customer service and the importance of it, because before Mrs. Mummypenny, I worked at EE. And I was on a special task force where all sort of people from all over the business, directors and all sorts of people were brought together in this boardroom, and we just had to sit there and talk about how shocking customer service was at EE and what we were going to do to improve it. So this was like 6 years ago. So hopefully their customer service has improved. I know it has because I still shop there. But it's like, if you as a company nail your customer service, you are going to benefit so much, aren't you, from increased turnover, from repeat loyalty from your customers, recommendations from customers to their customers' friends. There's just it's almost like it's the base thing that a customer a business has to offer is brilliant customer service.
Yes. That's why measuring it is such a good business idea for us, because it's always going to be, whether you're especially now after lockdown, I know you started these Mummypenny talks in lockdown, and there isn't a face-to-face customer journey, but there is most certainly a digital customer journey, and how quickly someone responds to you when you make an inquiry, and all these things that can be measured. And I'm always mystery shopping wherever I go. I've always got my mind switched on to customer service, and it's important with every business, whether it's B2B or B2C.
And I think that's what we've noticed more over the last sort of couple of months since we've been in the middle of this lockdown. We've noticing that most of the organisations we work with are sort of pivoting and switching a lot of their time and effort and energy into the digital journey, because it's it's becoming more and more important. Most of our clients now have got sort of a chief customer officer or something like someone at the top that sits at a board, or the very, very sort of top of a business that actually puts the customer first and doesn't just look at the numbers or the operations. So I think business is changing, and that's why I think we've been pretty successful the last 6 years, because more and more organisations are seeing the benefits of putting the customers at the heart of what they do. And even from our perspective, our customers, we've got sort of two customers really. We've got shoppers who are our customers, and we've got our clients who are our customers. And I think it's very easy just to think, throw all our attentions into the clients, but actually we really take a lot of time and put a lot of effort into how we treat our shoppers. Because if we get that wrong, then quite quickly, word will get round that we're not a great organisation to work for, and the model is flawed. And that's sort of what Hannah is really all about, making sure our shoppers are treated the best in our sector, the best in class, and we regularly survey our shoppers. We regularly, pretty much all the, rather than just sending out instructions via email, most of the work we do is over the phone, isn't it? Encouraging people to speak or to do Zooms, just to make sure people really understand the expectation.
Do you know, lockdown did us really well for that. I think a lot of mystery shopping companies closed their doors completely. Not necessarily faulting for that, because of course you have to, it needs must when a pandemic comes, but we took the opportunity to kind of remain at the forefront of our business. And 3 managers stayed unfurloughed. We stayed working. Chloe, our account manager, still kind of communicated with all of our clients and sort of saw how we could work for them and our customer service for our clients. But I led weekly live sessions on our private Facebook page. So I did sort of Q&A like this with all of our shoppers, just to make sure they're supported, and every shopper is graded. So not only I've got the team upstairs, but we've got a team of 15 quality controllers that look at every single report that we get sent to a client, A, to benefit the client and make sure that they have a good report, but B, to then give a grade and feedback to the shoppers so that they're supported and guide their journey and can do other mystery shops and get more money and get paid more and all of these things as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, so I was going to share my experience of doing a report for you. So you've mentioned I've done Bannatyne's. What else have I done? I've done. Do you still have the sushi one? Was sushi you?
Yeah.
Sushi at Waitrose. I always loved that one because you could do it pretty quickly. So I'll talk about the sushi one. So a lot of Waitrose shops have the sushi shop in them. So the mystery shop is you need to go in and spend a certain amount of money and take pictures of quite a lot of things, speak to a member of staff, make sure you get the name of the member of staff, and you sometimes have to ask specific questions. So when you go in to do the mystery shop, you need to make sure you are well prepared and that you are going to do everything that the questionnaire requires you to do. And then so you then come home, so you've got your photos on your phone, upload your photos and your receipts because you bought some stuff, and you obviously get that money back, plus there's a small payment, I don't know, maybe £10-15. Would that be about right?
Yeah, for that type of mystery shop.
But if you're going to Waitrose anyway,
You get lunch,
you get some food for free, and you get a little bit of, well, you get paid to go do your shop, which is quite nice. So when you get home, it's always better to do it on the day, I always found, because when it's still fresh in your head, and you still remember the name of the person who served you, and you write your report. And I mean, I'm quite used to reviewing things and writing reports because of, Mrs. Mummypenny. I review stuff all the time. So you do have to be able to write properly and give as much information as possible. Just really think that you're writing this report that's really going to help the sushi companies that's asked for it. So be really honest, be objective, and be clear with your guidance, and write a good report. And then you get this little score back telling you how good your report was. And I remember the last time I did a report, I got something like 70% or something, and I was like, why have you only given me 70%? Like, I'm really good at writing.
I'm going to give you a little bit of feedback underneath that about what you've got to improve, or maybe spelt something wrong, or
yeah, make sure it's spelt right and grammar and stuff. But yeah, so it takes a little bit of time, but if it's stuff that you enjoy doing, and
a lot of places, a lot of circumstances, if you're going to that place anyway, you're going to get paid to go there and get food or go and have a coffee. And if you're not, you'll get paid for going. A lot of our mystery shoppers, we have some that are full-time, some that just do things as and when. They get extra money to supplement their income, which of course is incredible. But also they are learning how to review and how to improve and how to write, because they get a free coach effectively on how to do things. They are so important to us as a business to make sure that we do improve those people's skills, because if we don't send good reports to our clients, the model just doesn't work.
Oh.
Is
that yours?
Yeah.
It's definitely not mine.
Yeah, you turn it off your stuff.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, it's I've never really thought of it like that you're actually helping people to,
whether that there's transferable skills there, whether it be that you're learning to write, and so therefore you can write a covering letter to apply for a job in future. You're sort of starting to pick up all these new skills of how to review. And if you say, can imagine if you say in an interview that you are a mystery shopper and you rate people on their customer service, if you're applying for a job where you have to give customer service, it works perfectly for you.
And that grade becomes quite a competitive thing from a shopper perspective as well. So we've got shoppers that might have an average grade of sort of 85%, and they're constantly trying to get to the 90, because other people they know are in the 90. It becomes a little bit competitive. And I think from our clients' perspective, having something like that in place where they can guarantee is going to be quality behind the insight that we give them, I think that's probably one of the things that sets us apart from some of our competitors that maybe don't have that in place, and therefore can be sending sort of substandard work to clients.
I think a lot of talking about kind of what sets us aside is that we ask for thoughts and feelings from our shoppers. So Lynn, when you would have done the Sushi Daily, you sort of said like you're giving feedback to that person. That report that you're writing is going to go to that manager, and it's personalised from you. I think a lot of a lot of people see mystery shopping as a yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, done. Like, yes, yes, they had this poster. No, they didn't do that. Yes, they had that in their food. But we really try to sort of get from our shoppers, like, how did it make you feel? Would you go back, like NPS sort of thing? Would you say that you'd come back or invite friends to use it as well? And it means that you are personally helping that brand improve.
And a lot of the time, we encourage the shoppers to focus on the positives rather than the sort of what's broken or what's not. And she's trying to find out who are the superstars in that business, in that location, that coffee shop or whatever, because that's really what I think. That's what, you know, when I used to receive mystery shops, if it was just all sort of moans and groans, I just didn't find it particularly constructive. But if it's a lot more positive and perhaps pointing out some of the people in the business that are doing a great job, then I found that much more inspirational as a sort of a manager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So right, the economy at the moment. So as we're speaking, it's the middle of August. So we are out of lockdown. Who knows what lies in the future? But it feels like, particularly like from tomorrow, beauticians are allowed to start working on faces again, which is brilliant news for the beauty industry, which is 90% face treatment. I really didn't know it was so heavily skewed towards face. And then bowling alleys can reopen.
Got three or four different bowling
We've got
clients.
facial places as well, so we've got some beauticians. Yeah. I've had a couple of facials here in London because of it. So yeah, it really supports us with clients opening.
The longer the lockdown's gone on, it's sort of harder it's been to sort of navigate through this.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the huge problem we've got now is 750,000 people so far have lost their jobs during lockdown, and we know during the COVID-19 crisis, and we know that number's going to grow and grow. So lots of businesses are going to rationalize their retail network. We've already seen Boots, John Lewis, WH Smith's, pretty much all the big names have announced all these big store closures. So there's a lot of people out of work at the moment, and there's a lot of people, because I'm getting messages from people saying, I don't know what to do, I don't have any income coming in. Now, I obviously write content about making money, and making money is when you're making supplementary money, either to your day job or because you need extra money because you've lost your day job. It's quite a tricky subject because there's so many things out there in the online world that are too good to be true, right? That are actually really difficult to make money from. So like all these online questionnaires out there where you can make loads of money from filling in online questionnaires. No, that's absolute I was going to say a swear word.
Just to get someone's done.
But mystery shopping is a genuinely some people probably could earn £1,000 from it. But it's if you put your mind to it and you did a couple of mystery shops a week, if you've got maybe 2 spare days, you did 4 mystery shops in those 2 spare days, you live near a city that's got you could earn a few £100, maybe more. So it's a really viable way to earn some extra money.
And I think it works well for us because from a mystery shopper point of view and a client point of view, at the moment customer service is so important, more important than it ever has been. So hopefully we'll have lots more businesses realise that and then therefore need our services. And then from a mystery shopper point of view, because they realise that and need our services, that we've got jobs available. We do have full-time mystery shoppers that will earn an income, like a full-time income for this, and sort of earn close to £2,000 a month if they're doing that many mystery shops because they travel the UK.
I think it's worth putting in context. They've got to, we work very hard to get, there's a lot of effort required, writing that many surveys, travelling a lot. You've got to be prepared.
But on the flip side, and that is a small percentage of our shoppers, a handful. On the flip side, absolutely, Lynn, if you put a day a week, if you've got, there'll be a lot of people that we're worrying at the moment that have got children and things like that, but you can still, Hoyo Bowl, you were just mentioning, has opened, and you can go and take your kids bowling, and it's free because you get it reimbursed and you get paid for it. So you get the additional income as well for doing that mystery shop and taking your kids out. Whereas there will be a lot of your kind of listeners and followers that are worrying about the fact that it's summer holidays at the moment and they've got their kids at home and they can't do anything because they don't have any money. So there are, I know when this goes live, it might be 5 days away from it not being summer holidays anymore, but weekends and things like that, it's it's so important to sort of look into these things and know that it is true. It does, I get it, it sounds too good to be true. And there are some, we're not going to pay you thousands and thousands for doing nothing, so you've got to work hard, you've got to write up your reports, and you've got to be good at writing up your reports, because otherwise we won't use that mystery shopper again if it's a lie, or if it's not good, or it hasn't been written correctly,
or they just haven't followed the instructions. Because that's, like I think you said earlier, you've got to read the instructions first, and that's what we always encourage our shoppers to sort of take time to understand that in advance. Otherwise they're going to make a mistake, and that's invariably going to cause some kind of pain down the line.
Yeah. So I think anybody listening to this, so we've got two groups of people that will be listening to this. You've got there'll be a lot of people watching and listening who are interested in mystery shopping, who want to sign up. So I'll pop details below in the show notes of how to do that. But then there's also going to be a lot of people watching that are, in those customer sort of roles in businesses, who might want to engage with you to find out if you can do some mystery shopping for them. So it's like either side that you want, isn't it? It's the customers to do the shopping, and the companies who need the shopping done. So
absolutely, yeah. And like I said, they can both as well. You can. I actually, before I joined Proinsight as ops manager, I was a Proinsight mystery shopper. So not only was I a client in the businesses that I ran, but I also did mystery shops too. Sort of knew the ins and outs of things. So yeah, absolutely, you can do both and have interest in both sides of it.
As long as you're not shopping
shopping your own company.
we send check that first.
Yeah. No, I genuinely think it's as I said, there's not that many wonderful ways of earning extra money online, or I just think this is, because I've tried it, I know it works, and you have to put a bit of effort in, but you have to put effort into everything to earn money, right? But I just think that if there are people listening to this feeling quite desperate and starting to think, oh my gosh, I'm not sure how I'm going to, pay for the school shoes next month, then look into Proinsight, sign up as a shopper, and do some jobs and earn an extra 50 quid, 100 quid.
We've got people, sorry David, we've got people here that will talk to those people and kind of look after them. When it isn't that you join online and you don't hear from anyone, you don't sort of see our faces and hear from us again. So there will be people to support you. So even if you do sort of think, sounds great, but I don't know if I'm good at writing a report, I don't know if I can do it, there are people on the other end of the phone here that can help. And we run annual get-togethers. We're based in central London, so we run annual get-togethers and virtual meetings, so that you really do join a community of people that are going through the same sorts of things and some money.
And I was just about to say that we pay relatively quickly as well. So in terms of if you do a piece of work for us, then we pay every month on the 15th of the month. So the following, that makes sense. So if you do a piece of work today, then you'll get paid on the 15th of September. So that's pretty quick. Obviously, the work has to be checked, and we have to get it to the client. But I think that's again a real good benefit of doing something like this. You're not got to wait months and months and months to receive the income. Yeah,
cool. So more general questions then. So you've got to where you've got to. What I would assume you have a 5-year plan. Like what's sort of next for Proinsight, and where do you want to take the business? Like,
great question. You didn't tell me you were going to be asking that.
We're on the back.
Got to throw in the curveballs, right?
I guess obviously I know you've spoken to lots of different business owners. I think everyone's on the back foot at the moment because of the pandemic. Looking back at sort of January, February, we were so excited about things that were to come, and whilst we are in a business, thankfully, that is going to do okay throughout this, we have taken a hit, and it's been really. We've had days where we're sat in our spare rooms at home, and it's been really hard. But I think initially it's regrowing this business back to where it was. Getting our team back. We've had to furlough the majority of the team, and some of them are still furloughed. So getting them back, getting our clients back. We've only got 50% of our clients that have come back on board. So building new programs for them to
and that's because some of them are just opening and sort of clients are still navigating their way through sort of what does social distancing mean for them, what do the government guidelines mean for them. So we're working with a lot of those guys on that, and so that will take a little bit of time. I'm fully expecting, you know, for us to be, for the rest of this year, really financial year, probably to be working with clients to get their program back to where it once was. So that's fine. And Hannah said we've got some guys still on furlough, which we're starting to bring some more of those back 3 days a week. So sort of by the end of the furlough period, we'll have all our team back, which will be a big success. I think probably for me, one of the things I'm quite keen to spend more time investigating is just this shift from, you know, what was the usual mystery shops, physical mystery shops, face-to-face mystery shops. And like I said, more and more of our clients are moving to a sort of digital journey, which actually I think makes it easier for shoppers, because you haven't even got to get off you haven't got to leave the house. You know, you can do this all from your sofa. So I think there's going to be a real shift change from as organisations shift their resource, like Marks and Spencer was announced the other week that they were sort of moving away or sort of making savings in stores, but spending an awful lot on their digital journey. So businesses are going to be all over the place. And if we can align ourselves with that and help organisations measure their digital journey, I think then that will stand us in great stead for the future. And like I said, we've got some great shoppers that have started doing some of that stuff already. So we've made a big head start in the last sort of 6 months, 8 months.
We've got to be really versatile to the market and the way that business works. We're not, and we don't measure customer service in the way that customer service is going, it won't work for us. And we, although it's a very small tangent, we also do like auditing and things like that. So it's, especially during COVID, we've been able to sort of audit mystery shops, audit locations rather than send mystery shoppers in. So it's just exploring, as the market moves, exploring where we can fit into that, and of course still continuing to branch out into other industries. We dominate the health and fitness sector from a mystery shopping point of view. I don't think there would be any new gym chain that opened and didn't sort of know about or heard somewhere within contacts who Proinsight are, but we want that in more industries. So we've got a business development team that have tasks of go and hit that industry, go and talk to those people and meet and communicate and set up that with lots of different industries. And so I think that's certainly a plan to start to monopolise the.
Do you work with banks?
Some, yes, actually there's a few here in London that we work with. So Al Ryan, which is a Arabic bank here in London and Manchester, that we work with. And yes, we have done work with banks beforehand. Of course, sometimes a trickier mystery shop because some take credit checks and things like that. But our mystery shops that are pretty sought after because they do pay well, because banks need to be regulated. They need to have mystery shoppers.
They're almost compliance mystery shops, aren't they? A lot of those that are done in the past, compliance driven, and perhaps.
Because I've done a couple of bank mystery shops for one of your competitors, for GSK. But I did it like a couple of years ago. But you're right. I had to open I think I had to open a savings account, and it went on my credit record. I mean, it got removed from my credit record afterwards. But I had to go into branch. Sorry. But it was maybe like an hour of my time, and I had a recording device that recorded it all, so I didn't have to fill in a questionnaire. But I got paid maybe 90 quid or something.
Yeah, and it varies with, we always cross-reference our shopper pay with the market. So we look at what other companies are paying and make sure that we sort of match that or are above that to make sure that we keep our mystery shoppers. But the more work you put into something, because there was an effect that had on you. Yes, it was your hour of time, but also there had an effect that it hit your credit rating and it then took time to come away. Same as with the British Army mystery shop, you got paid a lot more because there is a lot more of your time and life invested in that sort of mystery shop. So that is taken into account. I sometimes quite like the different ones that you really do see the inside of a business and what happens to do. And
I think that's what we've started to probably enjoy, having moved into new sectors, is finding sort of really sort of challenging projects, really interesting projects where perhaps there's, we every shopper we have now, we know their mosaic profile. We gather their mosaic profile. So from our clients' perspective, marketing teams are always looking to target products with sort of new target audiences. So we can sort of match target audience for products with our own database of shoppers. So we're sending in almost the right people. Someone like those of you that are in London, like Gymbox is a really sort of high end, almost like a nightclub gym. Their target audience would always be sort of 25 to 35 people that are earning relatively well in that, are in that age group, and we would find the right people. So we're not sending in someone that sort of would be out of place, perhaps. That. So we do more and more of that type of work, which is, I think, it's a little bit more interesting, I think, than just sending anyone in for a coffee.
And I think but what stands out to, there's particular industries, in my view as a consumer, that where customer service isn't good enough. And I think if you could make a huge difference by like targeting. I'll pick on banking because I know a lot about banking. I used to work for HSBC, and obviously I work with a lot of banks now in Mrs. Mummypenny, but generally, like, customer service is not good enough.
It makes a difference. It makes such a huge difference. And the work that we've done in working with different sectors allows us to sort of benchmark sectors against each other.
Yeah.
So you might look at, we work with BMW, with Mercedes, with car manufacturers, that their customer service is impeccable because they're selling such a high value product, and they're not going to let you walk out without your data. They're not going to let you walk out having a bad service. And so we can then pick that up and look at the same sorts of question sets about, did they say their name? Did they do this, that and the other? And plant that on another sector and see how that changes, and sort of the lead to sale ratios and things like that can be taken into account. But yes, absolutely. Like, and I hate it personally. I hate having bad service.
God, yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst.
Point of not returning, about going around and finding somewhere else. And I found a recent coffee shop in Fulham here in London, and I normally bounce around to coffee shops and do lots of different things to meet new people and take new photos, this, that and the other. But I've gone back to them week in, week out for the past 6 because they're that great. And you take that from a coffee shop, that will be with a bank. They will set up their savings account, get a mortgage, set all these things with one bank if they've had a service. If they haven't, they'll do as much as they can to get away and go elsewhere and kind of search the market.
Yes, it's so important. So yeah, it's a great thing you're doing. You are hopefully shifting lots of industries in the right way.
There's definitely change when our clients that have stayed with us for it's been 5 years, the clients that have been with us for sort of that long, there's definitely been change in their mindset and their culture around customer service. Yeah,
we've got some really good case studies now where we've worked with sort of like quite a few of our clients, and a period of time we've now started to sort of, because the mystery shopping program's sort of really embedded in their business, we can now sort of look at some of the real improvements they've made. And it's hard to pin it all down to mystery shopping, but as mystery shopping being a core component has helped a number of our businesses really sort of push on in their sort of their ambitions, really.
Not a lot of them, but some of the clients that we work with put their bonus structure, align it with mystery shopping.
Yeah.
We don't want mystery shopping or Proinsight to be sort of a stick to punish people with when they don't do something right in their job roles. It is about praising people that do well, hence why we're asking shoppers to say all the great things, and hence why when we're talking to clients, we're sort of talking about the good scores and what does well, because that bleeds through, positivity bleeds through everything, and when you can sort of do that, it will carry throughout.
I think if I was talking to business leaders about like sort of implementing a mystery shop program, I definitely say the couple of things they need to be thinking about is, one, making sure that the information gets to the board, gets to the senior manager in the business, so it doesn't just get stopped as great it is that that information arrives with the manager of that location. You can deal with it and you can make the interventions. It's got to hit the board table, so it's sort of it becomes sticky then. Got to be linking to sort of bonuses or some kind of some performance indicator. And I think the third thing, if I was a business leader, I'd be saying, if you're going to look at a mystery shopper and agency, then perhaps you should be using an agency that's signed up to the MSPA, which is the Mystery Shopper Provider Association. So these are the guys that effectively we have to sign up to their code of conduct. So that means how we treat people and how our business behaves. So I would definitely suggest that if you're looking at that, then do choose an agency that is part of that association.
We are.
You're fine. You're like platinum standard.
No, it is.
I've worked with loads of mystery shopping companies, and as a shopper, not knowing the leadership team, and some of them have treated me like absolute crap.
Crazy, isn't it?
I have had some really awful experiences where I've had to go into like 4 different branches of Morrison's and put up packaging for malt loaf. So you have to take in the packaging, put it all together, put the product in it. Then you got to go to the next shop, and you're driving around all of these shops. And my travel expenses weren't covered, and I think they paid something like, I don't know, 15 quid a shop, and I ended up with something like 40 or 50 quid after tax, and it took me about 5 hours carting myself. It was just the most horriblest mystery shopping job ever. So be careful when you're choosing your mystery shopping jobs. Make sure it's something you're actually going to enjoy doing. But that obviously wasn't with you, that was somebody else.
Well, and the company as well, not necessarily the mystery shop that you're going to do, because we've got there'll be some mystery shops in that we've got that you go and it's boring, but then there'll be others that you absolutely adore, and that depends on the person and the location. But also when you're looking at working with a mystery shopping company, because like you've said, there are loads out there. We have got competitors, and we don't have all the clients in the world. That, like, if you're looking for a specific client to go and mystery shop, if you know you want to go and mystery shop that clothing brand because you shop there all the time, you've got to find a mystery provider that works with them. And no one's gonna tell you where to go and who that is. But I think definitely do your research about that company and look at, if you're a mystery shopper starting to look at mystery shopping, go on their social medias, go on their websites, talk to your friends that may do the same thing, and just look into whether or not they are going to look after you, whether they are supported. Look at Google reviews, all these things that you would do for product normally.
Yeah, it's good.
Because you want to make sure you're looked after. And there are companies out there that will do their darndest to not pay a mystery shopper if the tiny thing is out. And
I know,
they're going to have that relationship with you, that they want you to work hard and you're going to work hard for them. And I'm very proud of the team that we've got. They do work very hard to sort of service our shoppers and our clients to make sure that everyone's winning.
Yeah. So I'm going to pop. There's going to be two bits of information that I pop into the notes to accompany this. So the first link I'm going to put is to a form where, if you are a company looking for Proinsight to come and do mystery shopping for them, then that form can be filled in. Then you'll give them a call and arrange a meeting and do whatever that whole process is. And then there'll be another form where, if you're an actual shopper, where you can fill in your details and go get earning some money. So this will be published in September, by which time my book will be out. Yay! I got the proof copy of my book yesterday, so I was reading through it, because you have to have the proof copy to do a final check of errors, and I've still found some errors, but it'll be perfect by Monday when it goes to print. And then but yeah, there's a whole chapter in the book about making money, because the first section of my book is about sort of short-term money, budgeting, debt, family finances, and I've put a whole chapter about making money. And then part 2 is more about financial freedom and the future, so investments, pensions, protection. I've mentioned you I've mentioned you specifically in the money making. But what I've done is I had this like revelation last week. So I was recommending all these companies in the book, and I was including links. And somebody read the book and they're like, "Why have you put all these links in? It's a book." So what I've done is I've created a special page on my website, which is for all the companies I've recommended. So you just go there, and then all the like Pension B and Top Cashback and, you know, all the companies I work with, they're all linked up in there. So that's where you'll end up, in there.
Honestly, super excited.
I'm so excited.
It's like a long time coming for now that you're getting closer and closer to print day.
Oh, it's so exciting, and I've got so much support from like newspapers, and like I've got more articles coming in the red tops, and the so like the Sun and the Mirror and the Mail. They're perfect demographic to the audience that are going to be buying my book. So I'm so grateful that they're all supporting me, and the BBC have been really good with like regional radio and BBC London and stuff. So
you're our little claim to fame, that we've got a shopper that's doing so well with making money.
I know, it's amazing. It's amazing. The PR stuff's just incredible.
You're doing, you have actually done all those jobs. It's kind of authentic as opposed to
your whole brand is that you've been through it. You're not giving advice because you've not been through it. Your story with your kids and sort of having to do it with yourself and clear your debt and make money, and it's the whole brand is authentic, and it's really important that people are sort of believing in that and learning so much.
But that's that's the core thing, right? I was in shed loads of debt, and I needed every single extra 10 quid I could get my hands on, because that extra 10 quid, 20 quid, 50 quid went into paying off my debt. So that's where I started doing the mystery shopping. Was I had such a necessity for earning extra money. So and I paid off the debt, right? I mean, it took two years, I suppose. It's pretty good to pay off 16 grand, but it was all those little things. I think I reckon I earned about maybe £1,000 from mystery shopping over the 2 years. So like 1,000 of my 16 grand was from mystery shopping.
I think people that are in that position look at 16 grand and sort of go, how on earth am I going to manage this? But it is that £10 each time, isn't it? It's chipping away at.
And if you're doing fun things anyway that you normally want to do with your kids, and you're getting paid to do that, then that's the beauty of mystery shopping. It's not, sometimes you're getting things that you do anyway, or you'd like to do.
Or you get a free spa day.
Or you get your free massage or facial.
Yeah, because we can now have facials. Right, thank you ever so much for talking to me.
Pleasure.
Yeah, it was wonderful, and have a great rest of August, and fingers crossed. I mean, you've got a really solid business model, so I know all these clients are going to come back, and you're just going to grow into a bigger, more successful business, because your core values are like really solid. So you'll be fine. So well done for getting through the past few months, because I know it's been really hard.
Thank you so much. Good luck with printing.
Yeah, good luck with the book. Looking forward to it.
Lovely to speak to you.
Later. Bye.
Don't go.